Hey guys, so we're going to finish up the 2019 year-end top 10 for the 135-pound lightweight division. This video, we're going to talk about the number one, finishing the year, the number one lightweight in the world is the guy that entered the year number one, with no doubt one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in boxing, the most talented fighter I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of great fighters, and that is unified champion, WBA, WBO unified champion, Vasily Lomachenko. Lomachenko was coming off of 2018 where he moved up to lightweight and had a great fight, got put down for the first time in his career against Jorge Linares, and ended up coming back and knocking Linares out in the 10th round with a body shot in a great fight of the year candidate. He returned in December and took on Jose Pedraza after an injury. He needed surgery and injury. So he took on Jose Pedraza to unify belts, who is the WBO champ. And he outclassed Pedraza, but you could tell he was recovering from an injury in that fight. And it wasn't Loma at his best. But he got the win. And people were wondering how he was going to look in 2020. Well, he had a WBA mandatory defense he could not avoid against former champion Anthony Corolla. He did not want to take this fight. He was angry that he got mandated to do it, considering he's a super champ by the WBA, and he took his anger out on Corolla. He fucking destroyed Anthony Corolla. Fourth round, brutal knockout on a right hook that face planted Corolla. One of the best knockouts of the year, maybe the best. And he retained his unified title with that big win. Then at the end of August, he requested the WBC for him to be able to compete for their vacant world title, even though he was a unified champ. And the WBC granted him permission to fight number one contender Luke Campbell. And he went over to England to fight Campbell in Campbell's backyard. Campbell fought hard. Campbell fought good early. But Lomachenko just put it in another gear and outworked and outboxed and hurt Campbell, beat him up down the stretch, knocked him down, en route to a very convincing 12-round unanimous decision as he unified belts. But within the next month or two, the WBC would declare Lomachenko the franchise champion for some reason, and that put him in line to he declared himself. They declared him the franchise champion, and he had to go and face which basically left the WBC title open to and he wasn't the official champion anymore. That kind of hurt it. That what was the point in the unification for that? But either way, he wasn't the champion anymore for WBC, but he still has the other two belts. So at the end of the year, he was focusing on the Comey and Lopez fight, the winner of that fight. Next, Lopez got a huge win, which was what Lomachenko and I think most of the boxing world wanted, because a fight with Lopez, who's a flashy, undefeated, rising star, is a bigger fight than the Comey fight would have been anyways, and he got an emphatic win over Comey to capture the IBF belt. And now Lomachenko-Lopez looks like that's definitely going to happen next. Looks like April. Again, I heard Saudi Arabia's calling, trying to get the fight out there. Lomachenko now is 31 years old. He's still the unified champ. He's 31. In his prime, he's 14-1 with 10 knockouts, and he's still just doing his thing. He's dominating. He said, though, after the Lopez-Comey fight, he said he wants Lopez next to unify belts, and then he wants Gervonta Davis later in the year. Davis became the regular champion at 135. Maybe the WBA will mandate the regular champ and the super champ to fight each other. So we'll see, but he wants a big year in 2020, and I think he's going to get it one way or the other. I think he's going to fight, and I think he's going to beat Lopez without a question. And then after that, sky's the limit. He could take on pretty much whoever he wants as long as they're willing to fight him. Personally, I don't see the Gervonta Davis fight happening, but if it was going to happen, it can, because Top Rank and the PBC are willing to work together, considering Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury are fighting. And Bob Arum came out and said that they're going to talk to each other about working together more, that they're in talks about making other fights. So why not make this fight? Personally, I don't think it's going to happen because of Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather promotes Gervonta Davis, and the way Davis looked against Yuri Gamboa, I don't know if Davis is focused enough to get in the ring with Lomachenko yet. I think he needs maybe another year before that big fight can happen. And two, I don't know if Floyd really wants this fight to happen. I really don't know, and I don't know if he's going to allow it. So I'm leaning towards the no. It could happen for sure, but I'm leaning towards the no. But if it doesn't happen, Lomachenko's got a line of opponents around the block. But what I think he should do, if Davis is not on the table, is fight Miguel Berchelt, the 130-pound champion. Berchelt's a big fighter at 130. He fights for top rank. He said he would like to get in the ring with Lomachenko. I think Berchelt is going to destroy Oscar Valdez when they fight. I think he's going to win that fight and retain his belt. He's been champ for like 3 years now, and he's been the shutdown number one the last 2 years at 130 since Lomachenko moved up. So now Lomachenko's a shutdown number one at 135. I think that would make a lot of sense pound for pound wise to fight Miguel Berchelt in his prime. He's in his prime too. He's not 22 and 25 like Gervonta Davis and Teofimo Lopez. He's 28 in his prime right now. So I think that fight makes a lot of sense. But Lomachenko's going to have, obviously, a lot of opportunities to continue to prove himself as the best in boxing. And we're going to see if he can pull it off. So that's it for Vasily Lomachenko. Now, let's take a look at the state of the 135-pound lightweight division. This division is still very good. I mean, I know it looks like the bottom half, not that great, but these guys are all willing to fight each other now, and it is good. You know, you might not know a couple of the guys, but some of these top guys, like Lomachenko is a fucking huge star right now. Teofimo Lopez is a huge star on the rise, and winning the way he did against Comey was just, it was great for boxing, but the lightweight division just skyrocketed with that. Because I was leaning towards light heavyweight maybe being the fourth best division now. And maybe overall it is, but I still think the lightweights are hot just because of the star power with Lomachenko and Lopez right there. And then they're going to fight each other. Then you got veterans like Jorge Linares and Luke Campbell that are still trying to get back in the mix, you know, and capture world titles. Javier Fortuna, same thing, trying to capture the world title against Luke Campbell next. They're fighting the unified belts. Then Gervonta Davis is now part of the mix here at 135 now. That big name. That's why this division is shut down. Number 4 right now for me, the 4th best division in boxing. You got Gervonta Davis now here in the top 5, great fighter. Got a couple veterans towards the back right there, Mendy, Selby, you know, that are solid veterans. You might not know them, big names, but they're solid veterans. And then let's talk about the guys that are on the rise that are probably going to be in the top 10 by the end of the year. You got Ryan Garcia, undefeated, star on the rise, probably going to get Jorge Linares in the ring in the summer. I think he's going to kick the shit out of Linares, and Linares is number 3 at lightweight right now. That's going to make Garcia a huge name in the lightweight division. And then Devin Haney. He had a great fucking knockout last year, a knockout of the year candidate. It was against a nobody, but he destroyed him. He actually became the WBC champion by a gift for a little bit there. But he's got a line he's a champion emeritus. He's got a line at facing the winner of Campbell and Fortuna for the WBC title later in the year. I think he's got a good chance of beating either one of those guys. So, a lot of guys on the rise, a lot of guys here. 3 big names, Lomachenko, Lopez, and Davis, are ruling this division at 135 right now in terms of star power and talent. And then you got 2 youngsters like Garcia and Haney on the rise, and some game veterans like Campbell. Comey's still solid. You know, this is a very good division, guys. Lightweight's really come up. It's really back to its true form where it was back in the day. And can't wait to see the fights they put together at 135 heading into 2020. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're paying attention for the news on Lopez and Lomachenko. I'll definitely be updating everybody. But the number 1 fighter at lightweight ending 2019, Vasily Lomachenko, the unified lightweight champion. Hope you enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.